Hello my fellow penetration testers, and welcome back to another video. And here I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to set up the damn vulnerable web application for testing your hacking skills, like a MySQL injection or cross-site scripting, be it DOM based or reflective or persistent, or a remote file injection or Captcha bypass. I'm gonna go ahead and set up this website in a two-part video. I have gone ahead and enumerated the steps that are required to go ahead and perform, or rather set up the particular website. The website runs on three platforms: Apache, MySQL, and PHP 7.2. Well, the latest version of PHP. Now, all three of these components are available in Kali Linux, so you do not have to go ahead and download anything. The only thing that you have to download is the Git package for the DVWA, which we are gonna go ahead and cover in the next video. In this particular video, we're gonna go ahead and configure DVWA till the MySQL part. So let's quickly get started. Now, the recommended part would be to go ahead and remove the default websites that you have on Apache, but I've got a few other websites running on this particular server. So what I'll do is, instead of going ahead and removing the default websites, I'll go ahead and move them to a temporary folder. I've already done that, so I'll just go ahead and show you. Alright, just a moment. So I've gone ahead and moved the default configuration files to this particular temp folder. I would recommend you to go ahead and do the same. Now let's go ahead and create the configuration file for DVWA. Now the third step would be to go ahead and add the entries for the virtual host. Now the virtual host would be running on port number 80, that's like the default HTTP port, and the document root would be the /var/www/html/dvwa folder. This folder would be created automatically, so you don't have to worry about that once we go ahead and start installing the DVWA application. What we have to do at this point of time is we'll have to go ahead and enter this entry in the configuration file. So let's quickly do that and save it. Alright, it's saved. So let's have a look. Hold on, let me just go ahead and cd dot. Alright, so what we have here is the dvwa.com file that has been created here. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so moving on to the next step, that would be to go ahead and link the configuration file with the site enabled. So that would be using the ln command. So let me quickly go ahead and do that. Well, that's done. Now we'll have to go ahead and clone the DVWA git file. So I'll quickly go ahead and do that. I'll be going ahead and putting this particular file, like the steps, in a shared folder, and I'll put the link in my descriptions so that you can go ahead and follow that, and you can go ahead and set the DVWA application by yourself. So at this point of time, it's going ahead and cloning the DVWA application. And give it some time. So we can see that it's cloning DVWA right now. It has completed cloning the DVWA application. So let's quickly have a look. Alright, so we have the DVWA folder. Alright, so these are the entire folders. These are the entire files that we require to go ahead and set up. And we would be going ahead and copying this to the slash var slash www slash html slash dvwa folder, like this particular folder. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and do a move. Right, we'll have to just go ahead and create the folder once. So just give me a moment. Let me quickly go ahead and create the folder. Right, now we can go ahead and move the DVWA to that particular folder, and now I'm gonna go ahead and change directory to that particular folder. Right, so what we see here is like we have gone ahead and moved everything to this particular folder. That's the document root folder. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and change the permission. We'll have to set the permission to read, write, and executable. That's 777 to the entire folder. So let's quickly go ahead and do that. Alright, so we see that we've got the read, write permission, read, write, and execute permission on all the files that are required. So let me just go ahead and do a clear once again. Alright, now the next part is setting up MySQL. Now as I've told you, MySQL is by default installed on, or rather installed as a service on Kali Linux. So what I'll do is like I'll go ahead and start the service. That's service MySQL start. You go ahead and start the service, and then I'll go ahead and start the console as root. That's MySQL-u root, like the user root. So that's MySQL -u root. Right, so now we are in the MySQL console. Now we're gonna go ahead and create the database. The database name by default would be DVWA, so let's go ahead and do that real fast. Right, so we have gone ahead and created one database here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and create a user called DVWA user at localhost, and the password would be password. So let's quickly do that. Right, that's done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and grant the permissions for all the rows and the columns to this particular user. Done. Alright, very good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and flush the privileges. Done. And now I'm gonna go ahead and exit out of this. So my database is created right now. Now the next part would be to go ahead and configure the PHP portion, and that I would be covering in the second part. So stay tuned for the second part. Alright, thank you for watching. Bye bye.